Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Tom Spark. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be discussing, should you switch from ProtonVPN to NordVPN? I made an article. I'm going to be running through those points I made in that article for this video. So guys, stay tuned for that. Also guys, just to be clear, I'm an affiliate for Nord and Proton. So no matter which one you choose, I'll get a small cutback if you use my link in the description down below. Both of my links should give discounts available, if available, for both VPN providers. Specifically with Nord, the discount link is a little better. It gives you an extra month, I think, with your subscription. Whereas Proton doesn't really provide unique kind of discounts to anybody. They just kind of give you a standard link. So with that in mind, let's get into the video. So guys, both NordVPN and ProtonVPN are pretty big VPN providers. However, Nord is way bigger than Proton, partly I think because they've just put more effort into the product itself, whereas ProtonVPN initially was kind of like a mail company, Proton Mail. I think maybe they saw the success of NordVPN and then they decided to make a VPN. And if we look at the stats here, you can see how much bigger Nord is than Proton by a factor of probably 3 or 4, maybe 4. So yeah, but if you take a look at some other VPNs, maybe something like Mulvad or something like that, you can still see that, Proton is a good size compared to those ones. It's just the fact that Nord is so big. Something like ExpressVPN, they're all kind of the same now. The market really is just like Nord kind of wins. And yeah, so in this video we're comparing Nord and Proton. Spoiler alert, yeah, I think Nord kind of does win, as you can see by the results as well in the search. But let's go ahead and discuss why, not just what people are using more, but maybe why it actually is better. So with that in mind, here is my number one reason why Nord is better than Proton in my opinion. Well, it's because in my tests, it just gets faster speeds. Now, Proton is by no means slow. It's around, in this test, I got around 550 in that area, and Nord was around 600 megabits per second. So it's just slightly faster, but every dollar counts, right, when you're coming to pay for something. Additionally, I also made this kind of research article discussing kind of like the price ratio and stuff like that. And Nord is actually a better price to performance ratio than Proton as well. As you can see here, it's under the 0.25 cents per megabit over a 2-year plan, and Proton is over that. So it's a little bit more expensive for the speeds you are getting. So that is another reason why I think Nord is a better deal overall. Secondarily, we could talk about the lack of SOCKS 5 proxy. NordVPN actually does provide you with a SOCKS 5 proxy. You can plug and play in your BitTorrent application just like this. And that's a very useful thing to do if you want to use SOCKS 5 proxy. I use them a lot of my videos because it's a very easy way to anonymize your traffic. Your ISP can still see your torrenting, but anyone won't be able to see your IP. So the traffic itself isn't anonymized per se, actually. I should correct that. But your IP address is anonymized. And it's not as good as using a VPN, but it sure as hell is a lot easier. And more features like this is better in my opinion if you're paying a VPN for a subscription. Proton just does not offer this feature, and I don't think they ever will. They kind of are elitist in some ways when it comes to some of these privacy features, whereas NordVPN provides you more options. And we can see that in the next category as well, dedicated IPs. Proton has said, and pretty much will never ever offer dedicated IPs, whereas NordVPN does offer them. The cool thing about dedicated IPs is just an add-on you could purchase for a couple bucks a month, and it will pretty much give you a unique IP only you're using, which basically means you can have an anonymous IP to some extent. It's not going to be a real IP, so websites won't be able to see a real location or who you really are with your IP address, but you will be able to bypass some common things like CAPTCHAs and stuff like that, which can be a benefit for convenience sake. So moving on from that, though, another kind of thing we could discuss is brand reputation and controversies. Honestly, ProtonVPN has taken a pretty bad hit lately in terms of their reputation. The CEO kind of spoke out on the social media channels of Proton products and kind of praising Republican Party in the United States. This pissed off a lot of people. If you're not in the United States right now, or maybe you are, the United States is kind of a clusterfuck. Pretty much all like the governmental institutions, like the Department of Education, tons of air traffic controllers, pretty much all the infrastructure in the United States is being dismantled. So yeah, it's not really a good look for the United States. But to say that the Republicans are good for privacy is just kind of a wild take, especially since last time Trump was president, there was this huge net neutrality issue, and Trump's pick was trying to dismantle net neutrality. And pretty much they'll give power to internet service providers to collect and farm our data even more. So yeah, it just was not a very good take. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the CEO myself. I don't want to say too much, but I've had a couple run-ins with this guy digitally, and yeah, we don't really get along. I still am an affiliate for the company. I try to be objective as possible, but it kind of doesn't surprise me that they kind of landed in this PR mess. Outside of that, though, NordVPN doesn't really have any of these issues right now. The management team isn't really interacting with the community as much as maybe Andy is, and I think sometimes that's a good thing. So yeah, they definitely kind of take a step back and focus more on the product and kind of be involved in this way. And I guess a side effect of that is maybe not pissing as many people off. Next up, though, another thing I like about Nord over Proton is they have some more innovative features like MeshNet. Basically, allows you to set up your own local area network, remote in if you're not home, watch content, share content with other people, etc. It's a pretty cool feature that's built into NordVPN for free, and Proton VPN doesn't really have a competitive service. Next up, we could talk about just another couple little things I've noticed is that I do think that ProtonVPN feels more like a Me Too product, whereas Proton Mail was more of it like had its own identity and being unique to the market. It was kind of one of the first kind of email and services, encrypted email, privacy-friendly services, whereas ProtonVPN came out kind of quite a bit later after a lot of other products on the market. So that's just kind of like my take on that. By the time Proton came around, NordVPN was already like the biggest VPN. And yeah, if you saw the search trends results, I haven't really made a big dent in that. I mean, it's its own product, to be honest though. If we look at the tier list itself, Proton is still the number 4 rated VPN, only a couple points behind Surfshark and Nord. So it's still a very good product. And it's better than most VPNs out there. But at the same time, they do a Proton Mail, Proton Drive, Proton Pass, Proton Wallet, all sorts of different things. With Proton VPN, they started out with a mail and then some of these other things expanded to VPN, whereas NordVPN specifically made their VPN first and then expanded to other things. And, I would say that some of the other products like NordPass and stuff like that are kind of like copying Proton more, whereas Proton's copying NordVPN more with the VPN kind of thing. So that's just kind of like my opinion on that, but you might not really care. Another thing to note is streaming compatibility. I would say that NordVPN streaming compatibility is just overall better than Proton. However, both services do work to unblock geo restrictions, so not a huge difference there. But another thing that I talked about earlier on is competitive pricing. NordVPN, especially for the speeds you get and the price you pay, is just a little bit cheaper. I think it's a little bit of a better value than Proton. Number 9, I would say that Nord has a little bit broader device support. For example, they have an Apple TV app. I don't think Proton does yet. And some of the applications, like Proton VPN, had a extension on the App Store that was like malware at one point. They didn't design it, but someone else kind of swooped in and made one before they could. I made a video on that. They didn't really like that, but what can I say? I just reported the news. But NordVPN overall just has a little bit faster kind of development process and applications. So that's something to think about. Lastly, we could talk about threat protection. NordVPN has a little bit more threat protection, antivirus kind of capability built into its applications. So if that's something you're interested in, it could be a reason to switch. So guys, that's about it though for this video and some of my reasons why you might want to switch to Nord instead of Proton. However, at the end of the day, like I said before, both these VPNs are very good. I've had a little bit more fun using NordVPN for various features like MeshNet and things like that. At the end of the day, ProtonVPN is a very solid, polished VPN provider. But here are some of the reasons, like I said in this video, that I actually think maybe Nord is a little bit better. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you again very soon.